Guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing the 2005's final engine break-in. For those of you that aren't familiar, this is a Deckplate 6.7 Enforcer engine from the folks out in Ohio, D&J Precision Machine. We went there, built this engine, we got it installed. All of that's been heavily documented. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that content. Last weekend we did our 5-minute initial engine break-in. The reason why I believe Drew wants 5 minutes is it's long enough to kind of get some heat into it. We were able to crank down the head studs so we could put coolant in it, which on a fire ring gasket, it's very common. If you don't do a hot retorque and you just put it all together, you can get some milkshake. The fire ring holds the head gasket up a little bit, so there's not a very good seal between the oil pressure and the engine coolant. So we got it hot for 5 minutes, 1800 RPM, torqued it down, added coolant. We put the whole front end back together, which we documented for you guys. And then we have our intercooler piping courtesy of Shad. Got that all taken care of. Nice Vangeons. The nice part is, even with our other turbo setup, this side will remain the same. It'll just be this side he'll have to redo. And we got our dipstick in, which was oil leak number 1. And then hopefully we got our banjo fitting down there tightened enough so it doesn't leak fuel anymore. Now, the last part of the engine break-in is 15 minutes, 1800 RPM. And then we'll do another hot retorque there. From there, Drew says it's broke in, ready to go. That does not mean we are going to just jump into making a bunch of power with this thing. What we'll probably do, get some fresh tunes in it. Once we get the fresh tunes in, we'll go ahead and put it on the dyno, do a couple of quick hot passes, get it really hot, do one more hot retorque on these 14 mil head studs. Actually, Drew's are 9/16, but I mean, tomato. Do one more torque on those, and we should be ready to start chasing our horsepower goals, getting a good tune-up in it for some racing, sled pulling, what have you. So, I'm going to go ahead, finish our intake system. This is from intakehoses.com, 6-inch to 5-inch. We have a chunk of aluminum elbow there and a filter. We're going to go ahead and get the filter put on to protect our investment. I went ahead, got a Napa nicer battery charger. I have no idea if it's good or not, but the one we were using was not cutting it, so we're gonna get those charged up a little bit. I think I might need to take that battery back and just get it replaced. It's pretty hammered. It doesn't want to start very well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this intake system made up while this thing's charging, so we can get this thing fired up, moved outside, and warmed up for 18 minutes. All right, so here's how she'll sit. Obviously, we gotta do a little bit of work on the nitrous. I'd planned on moving those around anyway, so I think what we'll end up doing is probably building some sort of bracket that'll mount them, I don't know, maybe down. I saw Battleship do something kind of cool, so we're gonna get that fixed. I'm just gonna go ahead and get all these clamps tightened down and do a once-over on the truck, make sure everything's tight. I've had it apart a couple times, so just want to make sure we avoid any issues. Right, air intake in, dipstick bracket, just a little chunk of aluminum, drilled a new hole, moved it back. We have our injectors plugged in. The horn, obviously some of the bolts are loose, but everything's hooked up. We're not gonna be able to build any boost or anything because all the nitrous plumbing's open and stuff like that. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead, get this thing pushed back and get her fired up on this beautiful, beautiful day out here. I mean, it's like 60. It should fire up a lot easier. All right, so we got Murr's help out here. We're gonna try and get a little bit more footage of it actually running outside the truck. This battery, I think, is pretty toast. So we got the jump box hooked up on the bus bars right here. It is about 60 degrees, a little windy, so apologize for the background noise, but we're gonna go ahead and fire this puppy off. and do our 15-minute 1800 RPM. And then
52 degrees, what a guess.
Yeah, dude. And then one more hot retorque, and then from there we're gonna change the oil. And Drew says she's ready to party, but we might drive it today. I don't know. This one being freaking broken kind of puts some
expedite on this one.
Yeah,
a little bit more leverage.
I mean, wire right now for 12 hours so far is the highest horsepower daily. Although you think I won't strap that down to the dyno and back up that number with coolant in the oil. You're
The thing
freaking.
is, I don't want to push him because I'm getting whatever's left of that motor. So the more the merrier. You're making boost. I'm blowing it out.
Can you shut the hood? All right, guys. So now we're gonna do our 15 minutes. You're making boost with that. It's blowing out pretty good. Now that it's all warmed up, hey, street truck life, baby. Wow, need new wipers, but you get the drift. So we're about halfway there. Oil temp at 117. We got the cooling fans on, which are down here, and just kind of making our way through it. Now you guys can see it's a lot cleaner. Obviously, it's warm, so we're just gonna keep going until it's done. So not to leave you guys hanging, but I gotta get this hot retorque done. Nobody to hold the camera, so I'm gonna go ahead and bang it out, and we'll pick this up right after I get done. Hey guys, little time lapse for you. I ended up finding a good spot for the camera. We got all of our head studs. None of them moved, like not one. So what that means, probably have to just check them on the dyno the first time we get it really hot. But no leaks. Head studs didn't move. We'll let this really hot mess kind of cool off for a little bit. But what we can do is get the oil drained for the engine oil. We went with AMSOIL 2050, and we'll just use a Cummins Stratofor filter. I don't know if AMSOIL is the best oil. I don't know whose oil is the best oil. AMSOIL gave me the best price for what I was trying to buy, so I went with them. I know they have a good history, but again, do not take that as word of gospel. I really like the PDD 15W40. However, we don't have a 2050 version yet, but because of my race truck and Todd's race truck, I think I got the bosses convinced that we can finally get some 2050 blended up. Anyway, We'll get the oil changed, and I think this thing's finally ready to bog. The battery didn't seem to be taking a charge very well, so we might have to replace it. It is an Odyssey. I think I just let it sit too long this year without maintaining it, but pretty sure it has a warranty, so we'll get it plugged back in on the charger. Other than that, guys, I mean, we're gonna have to do some tuning. I haven't made up my mind yet on who I'm gonna go with. I'm torn between two companies because my main man is out and down for the count, but we'll see. Next up, we're gonna do tuning revisions, just enough to kind of get it to run so we can drive it on the street, drive it on the dyno. And then we're gonna work on that 849 ECM swap, which I will do my best to document for you guys. No promises there, but I'll try. But man, I will say, looking at this purchase, what I spent with Drew, what I spent last year with other companies, I can tell you the Drew price is very tough to swallow. It took me a while to save up for it. But with how this engine broke in, how it installed, how it got assembled, we obviously haven't put it through its paces yet, but just up to this point, I have been extremely impressed. The quality per dollar, I think, is really there. I'm not knocking any other companies. There are a lot of good engine builders out there, but my personal experience, this is the first engine I've ever reached out to another company. Luckily, Drew let me put it together, so I got to be a part of it, but this is all his parts, all his design. So at the end of the day, I have no issue saying that I paid for Drew's engine. But all in all, reflecting on the purchase thus far, extremely happy. The quality's there. The performance is there. The lack of leaks and lack of hiccups. The engine runs good even for the old tune-up. I gotta say, these are awesome, and these DDPs are so much cleaner than the old setup, so I'm really excited to see where this takes us. Anyway, guys, I'm kind of rambling. Hopefully you like this video. Subscribe. We're gonna start working on the other truck, and make sure you guys give this video a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to do. I will catch you on the next one.